It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Welcome to 2K Sports. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here, and so is the Big Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. Tonight, it'll be the Golden State Warriors going up against the Houston Rockets. Looking at Houston, they got their season rolling with a nice win in their first game. Now we'll find out if they can build on it and open with back-to-back victories. And last season, we saw James Harden take on the role of acting point guard for his team. Even with the switch, he continued to pour in the points. But the real story, the assists, man, why was that move so good?
Well, Harden has always been a ball-dominant point guard, I just think he's an underrated passer, but he's always been a great distributor. Now he's just doing it more. He's trying to average that triple-double.
You know what the funny thing is? When he didn't have the ball and he wasn't playing the point, I think he looked for a shot more. But knowing that it's in his hands every possession allows him the freedom to pass the basketball, and it's helped the Rockets.
Interesting. Now let's go to Kevin Harlan. He's got the call.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The Star-Spangled Banner, sung by musical artist Linda Lynn. Welcome, everyone, to this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. From the sideline, our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. The Houston Rockets coming to this one after a win against the Warriors in Oakland. That was a great come-from-behind win, too. They got down but kept their heads up and fought back to win it.
And boy, how they were able to come back in the fourth quarter of that game. Being down as much as they were made it a really special win.
Well, I'm sure they enjoyed it because you're not going to get too many wins where you have to come from that far behind.
And nothing tips off a broadcast like getting the lowdown from the sidelines. And we've got David Aldridge there for that. David, good evening.
Well, Kevin, Klay Thompson continues to be happy with his role on the Warriors. He said winning is so much fun. It's one thing to put up numbers, and it's another to sacrifice and be on the best team in the NBA. I'll take the latter every time. At the end of the day, people are going to remember championships. That's what it's all about. That's absolutely right. Kevin?
Thanks, David. That's the mindset you have to have. In the end, winning titles should be the ultimate goal. Which is experimenting here, Clark, early in the season, and they're trying to feel which rotations work and which ones don't.
Well, that's normal for coaches to tinker a little bit, especially when you've got new players and you're trying to put together a different team. So you tinker until you find what works for you, and then you look to stay with it. Ideally, you'd like to be set on your rotation, probably no later than a fourth of the way through the season.
Tip-off goes to Houston. Here's the starting group for Houston. Anderson is down low with Capella. Paul and Harden, the star-studded backcourt. Excellent. And it's Ariza in at the small forward position.
Now, you got to remember that Harden has a quick trigger, staple gun quick. This guy is looking to score as soon as the ball touches his hands.
Now, here's Thompson. Green, the screen. Here's Pachulia. Another shot. And no good that time. And the Rockets take it the other way. They beat the Warriors during their last encounter in Oakland.
Yeah, it was a narrow win, but in that last meeting, I think foul trouble for the other side may have really just tipped the scale and allowed them to escape with the W.
You know, whether it was their smart play or a few whistles that perhaps could have gone either way.
Outstanding.
When games are tight, every decision becomes more magnified.
Here's Curry after Clint Capella's bucket. Outside Curry. Outside for Durant. And a great assist by Curry as that one goes in.
And that stroke of Durant, effortless. I mean, easily pulling up from the perimeter. Textbook form. Beautiful to watch.
Paul with the ball, and Curry picks him up defensively. Ariza against Green. 6 to shoot. Out of bounds. Rockets ball as Houston keeps possession. And in the first, a little over a minute and a half in. 2 on the clock. That's a 2 from Paul. Here's Capella. The kick out to Anderson. Nice shot from the
Well
wing.
done.
Love watching Anderson shoot immediately off the pass, right away. Fires it quickly after getting the ball. You know, Kevin, when you think of what a stretch 4 looks like, one of the first guys that comes to my mind is Ryan Anderson. Excellent shooting touch, and his shot looks like a smaller guy's shot with the mechanics being so perfect. He's been making threes from the very start of his NBA career.
Durant for 3. Another 3 for Golden State.
Outstanding.
And there's little the D can do to stop Durant. Phenomenal at using his length to get his shot over those outstretched arms.
Now here's Paul. Dishes to Capella. They set the pick. Curry against Harden.
Finish him.
His second shot goes in off to a good start. 2
Impressive.
for 2. And Anderson is such a great shooter from outside. Also at this point in his career is a high-character locker room presence. Clark, a great veteran leader.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. I mean, just another reason why he's so valuable. He's shown his entire career that he's reliable as an outside shooter.
Excellent.
Exactly the kind of player that stretches the defense and creates opportunities for his teammates on offense.
Anderson the screen. Capella goes in. Good D by Thompson.
Pathetic
The
fool.
defender's afraid to kind of get in his way a lot of times when he's on his way to the basket.
Impressive.
But on that one, they were there.
Yeah, you look at the way Kevin Durant releases it so high, makes it hard to block, which is why he's such an efficient inside scorer.
Here is Harden. Kevin Durant picking up that last
Well
basket.
done.
It's good.
Nice way to start the evening. His numbers getting called, and for good reason.
Well, you know, Greg, they can count on him to get buckets. I mean, he's getting the ball because he's very efficient when he has it.
Just testing out the cannon on that misfire.
That certainly was a deep one. I mean, maybe move in a little bit next time. There's no such thing as a 4-point line.
Now here's Paul looking for his first basket still in this one. And there's the call on Klay Thompson. That's his first foul. Gordon's checked in for Trevor Ariza.
Pathetic
With the
fool.
steal. And here's the fast break. Durant leading the way.
Outstanding.
And that one drops for him.
Man, Durant is a flat-out baller, showing off his wily strength on these tough finishes. He's a thin guy, but he's a strong guy.
And after Kevin Durant made his decision to leave the Oklahoma City Thunder, he instantly became one of the most polarizing players, it seemed, Greg, in the NBA.
Listen, Kevin Durant has always been a star in this league, but now he's become the story. It's something that he can handle, but doesn't try to seek out. Was able to prove all the naysayers wrong and just having another amazing season. And one of the best free throw shooters in the game from that forward spot. Durant goes to the line more now than he did earlier in his career.
Now here's Harden. 6 points for him. Trying to find Capella. Gets it to him. That one, no good.
A highlight reel play can't connect.
I thought the pass looked good and just came up a skosh short, but I like the initiative and the intention.
And here is Paul. After the three-pointer from Stephen Curry. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Paul with the ball. And Curry picks him up defensively. 5 to shoot. Paul kicks to Gordon. And Thompson sends it back. And so it's the Golden State Warriors with a 6-point lead at the end of the quarter. Their shooting has been the big key. Their percentage from the field so far has been terrific. And we'll be right back after this. And the basketball bloodlines of Klay Thompson. He tells us how his father and brother have become so involved with his success.
Dad always watches more film than me. And I watch film too. Not saying I don't. But they're both fans and they have a huge passion for the game. That's why they're still around it.
Yeah, you know, it's great to have that blend
Round
of support and
2.
competitiveness around you really your whole life.
Yeah, you can try to put a little something over on your coaches from time and again, even your teammates maybe, but family, they'll check you every time.
Well done.
And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. All right, we'll take a look now at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Warriors.
Guys, they are dialed in from beyond right now. They didn't waste any time getting into a groove in this game.
Finish
The other
him.
thing they've had going for them tonight is their passing. I mean, doing a nice job. Plenty of their points early on coming off assists.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade. All filled up for the second quarter of
Fatality.
basketball. Setting the floor for the Warriors. Offense and defense with Durant and Draymond at the 3 and the 4. It's the Splash
Pathetic
Brothers,
fool.
Curry and Clay in the backcourt. And it's Pachulia in at the pivot spot, manning the middle.
Well done.
And we all know that Mike D'Antoni is one of the most respected offensive minds in basketball. You look at his coaching tree, and there are branches all over the NBA. He has a lot of respect from his peers.
I mean, when you have sustained success like D'Antoni has had, the respect comes with that track record of success. D'Antoni has a great working relationship with a lot of other coaches as well.
Free throw, no good for Green.
Suck.
When he keeps his emotions in check, Green is a fantastic leader on
Finish
the court.
him.
He can run a little hot, but there's no doubting his drive, his willingness to do whatever it takes to win.
That's what they want. A good look from the mid-range game, hey, but unfortunately they came up empty.
Green, the screen. From past the arc.
Outstanding.
And Curry, the bucket on the assist by Thompson. Curry's got 6.
And Kevin, that 3 ball of Curry can't do it. I mean, you feel like it's going in as soon as he lets it go, no matter where, at what angle, or how deep.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the Houston Rockets, one of the most explosive scoring teams in the league. Defense has been a shortcoming in the past. Coach Mike D'Antoni said, we have some good individual defenders. If the rest of them just try, well, that's the plan. Kevin?
Offense is what the Rockets are all about, D.A. You know that. Coach D'Antoni definitely focuses on this part of the game more than defense.
Impressive.
And Thompson gets it to go.
All these open threes they're giving up have really been the driving force on this run.
Nene, the screen. Down low, deflects the pass. Gordon for 3. Another miss by Houston.
They're really frustrating right now. They just can't seem to stem the tide here.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those days. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Sometimes it's just not working for you.
The tenacity, the attention to detail, it's why these guys are in complete control.
And you know what, Greg? They are crushing it on both ends. I mean, in total control right now.
Clark, when you look back at all the coaching you received and all the coaches that you've covered, what allows a coach to have a team buy into what he wants to do?
I think there are a couple of things there, Kevin. One is authenticity, being who you are as a man and a coach, whatever your personality is, whatever your hallmark pillars are as a coach, the things that you don't allow to be negotiated, staying true to that. But authenticity is huge. And then adaptability, being able to be flexible within your authenticity. Those things, to me, give you the most credibility as a coach and give you a chance to one, be enjoyable to play for and also successful.
Now Curry, following Chris Paul's 3-point attempt.
Outstanding.
Here's Durant. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Curry's got assist number 5 here tonight.
And good passing, setting up a lot of these buckets right now, Kevin. That's been the key.
Dime-dropping delights is what I call it.
Yeah, that's a nice pass. I will give you that one.
He's
Impressive.
on the money, that's no doubt.
Boy, excellent work that time by Paul. Set a nice screen that time.
Here's the Warriors with the ball. They're on a 19-4 run right now. Outside Durant. Over Mbamute. That one a little long. Rockets trail by 21. Paul kicks to Gordon. Back to Paul. He feeds it to Gordon. Kane setting the pick for Gordon. Offensive rebound. Goes back up. Got a hand on it. And it's the Warriors on the break. Curry leading the charge.
Pathetic
Paul
fool.
with the steal. About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Mbamute dishes to Paul. Shoots over Curry. And the shot falls short this time.
And he's really trying to get them back into it, but the results just have not been there.
Outside Green. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Green.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Just 4 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession.
He just threw that possession away. Hopefully he learns from that and doesn't make the same mistake again.
It's Curry outside. No good on that last second attempt there. And so it's the Golden State Warriors sitting on a 21-point lead to end the quarter. Their defense has been terrific in this game. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Draymond, a strong first half offensively for the team. What are you doing right?
I mean, we're just letting them show us what's open. You know, you got to just make sure we stay patient on the offensive end and let them tell us what play to make, where the open man is. We've been doing a great job of that. We got to keep it up in the second half.
Yeah, the defense leads you to the open man. Thanks. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, folks. Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to break down all the action from the first half. A tremendous start for Kevin Durant. He ended up with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Taking a look at the Warriors, Kenny, what'd you think?
Well, they went downtown and threw a party, and fortunately, we were all invited. The key is their shooters weren't afraid to pull the trigger on open looks, and it's a blowout right now.
Shaq, how'd you think the Rockets were playing?
Well, they got a ton of issues to work out. Allow way too high a percentage to be shot against them. Not really showing any energy on defense. No discipline. Look at their faces, Ernie. Do they even want to be here?
And now, folks, just moments away from the start of the third quarter.
Welcome back, everybody. Third quarter just about to get going here in what has been so far a runaway game. What a game we're seeing from Kevin Durant.
And I loved in that first half that they were patient, looked for good shots, and knocked them down.
Yeah, I liked how they took the initiative. They were really locked into what they wanted, not letting the defense dictate their shot selection.
And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see how there's a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Warriors leading by 21. And the Rockets play at one of the highest paces in the NBA. A lot of possessions for both sides as they want as many chances as they can possibly get to score. Clark, when you think about that, how do you prepare for a team like the Rockets if you're their opponent?
Well, there are a couple of things you can do. One is you try to slow them down, and some teams are equipped to do that. Other teams are equally adept at the three, so you match them shot for shot. But the problem with that is Harden is really good in the half court. And even when you take away transition, he can hurt you in the half-court game.
So on the floor for Houston.
Outstanding.
The two pillars of this team, Chris Paul and Harden, are the 1 and the 2. Anderson is down low with Capella, and it's Ariza in at the 3 spot. And here is Curry. James Harden getting it to go from deep. Pass to Durant.
Test your might.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And Clark, when you were growing up, was there one player in pro basketball you tried to emulate or model your game after?
I really didn't pattern my game after any particular player. I tried to piece and parcel from a lot of players. I love the gracefulness of Lou Alcindor, now known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, when I first saw him back in the late 60s. At his size and the way he could move and his touch was impressive. And then as I became more of a forward in high school, you looked at guys like Magic Johnson, and I looked at Marcus Johnson out at UCLA. Dr. J was a versatile forward as well. George McGinnis, who ended up becoming a really good friend of mine as I got drafted by the Pacers. Those guys that were big and mobile and had ball skills and shooting skills and rebounded, those were guys that I tried to play like.
He hits both from the stripe.
Well done.
Now a timeout called by Houston.
And with the Warriors, their ability to score in bunches really is unmatched throughout the league. They'll be going along with the team, and then all of a sudden they have that 20-point lead in like 3 minutes. It can happen so fast that I think at times the other teams are shell-shocked.
Now here's Paul. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him. Harden the pass to Ariza. 5 on the clock. Anderson a screen on Durant. Here's Ariza. No good off the back of the rim. And talking about the Warriors and their ability to build a lead very quickly, the shooting they have, Greg, is a very big part of how they can just bury a team.
It is. Their shooting, especially from deep, but also their defense. One kind of feeds the other in terms of how they can steamroll teams and create that momentum. And only the special teams can put a game away with a 5-minute run, but this is one that has consistently done it over the last 3 years.
The Warriors shooting their 5th and 6 free throws of the game.
Taking 2 shots.
First one falls for him.
And the Warriors bringing back the band coming into this season. Durant took $9 million less than the max. That enabled them to bring back every big-time contributor from their 2017 championship roster.
He's perfect from the line.
Well done.
And the Warriors not just re-signing their own free agents, they went out and got some other guys. Omri Caspi and Swaggy P. Hard to believe, but they might be even better than last year. And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little sandpaper element to it, gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
Harden kicks to Paul. Lob pass to Capella.
Tell you what, Kevin, there aren't many
Impressive.
players who would have even seen that pass, but when we're talking about Chris Paul, he's got unique vision, unlike most anybody else.
Curry with it. 9 points in the game so far.
Pathetic
Nice open look, but it's no good. There's the 3. Harden, no good.
And on an open look like that, he's very gifted at making the weak coverage pay.
And Green slams it in.
Oh, such a beautiful pass to set that one up.
Yeah, the pass might have been pretty, but the finish
Outstanding.
was angry.
Well, you need both to make it special, and they pulled it off just right.
Paul kicks to Capella. And some nice passing there by Houston. And Chris Paul, the bucket on the assist by Harden. Paul's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Outside Curry. Kicks it to Pachulia. Durant in the corner.
Well done.
The 7th bucket of the contest. He's 7 for 9.
No doubt about the consistency when it comes to scoring the basketball for him tonight. A real nice lift for their offense.
Now a timeout called by Houston.
Yeah, the amount of points they've given up here in the paint, that's what they got to talk about.
Absolutely, Greg. I mean, they're getting crushed, killed, hammered, pulverized in the post.
P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Ryan Anderson. Now here's Harden. He's got 9. It's Ariza on the wing. Passes to Paul. To the inside. Pachulia with the steal. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Pachulia. Houston making a switch. Gordon's checked in. Houston's gone 2 of 3 when they ventured outside the arc in the third quarter. The shot's good from Paul.
That is the quick decision-making of Chris Paul. Doesn't take a single dribble, just sees it and hits it.
The screen from Thompson. Curry. From beyond
Outstanding.
the arc. Curry's got 6 here in this quarter. For Houston, they've gone an even 50% from the floor here in the third quarter. 4 of 8. Paul kicks to Gordon. Here's Tucker. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. And so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact and he'll shoot 2. Chris Paul picks up that one. The Warriors have shot 5 of 6 at the foul line tonight.
Yeah, and 79% from the line as a team a season ago. Pretty reliable in that regard. Two.
And the first one drops. And so he hits.
Well done.
They're doing a better job of working themselves to the line here in the second half.
This is how you do it. That's exactly how you do it. Defender pressing up on you, you press right back.
Screen by Capella. Paul kicks to Harden. From deep. Misses. And so it's the Golden State Warriors rolling along with a 27-point lead as we wrap up the quarter. The scoring has been tremendous, and they are shooting lights out with very high accuracy. We'll return shortly. And thanks again for joining us. Let's see what happens here in the fourth.
Final round. Fight!
The Rockets shooting struggles apparent, 37% from the field. Well, Clark, you had the distinct honor of playing horse against the former president of the U.S., Barack Obama. You lost that game, I don't want to remind you, but I want an honest answer. Did you let him win that contest?
Kevin, the deal is that it was an unbelievable privilege to play POTUS. We changed the letters of that game back in 2010, and I let the president up. I gave him life after I had him down, and he took advantage of turning the momentum in his favor. He won fair and square. I did give him an opportunity to win, but he's on top in that matchup, and I think it ended up being good television. And while some of my former teammates look at me with disdain for having lost a horse game to the president, I think it was all intended to end just the way it did.
The sharpshooters Curry and Thompson are at the 1 and the 2. Inside, we've got Draymond at the 4 and Pachulia to his side. And it's Durant in at the 3, the small forward. That's the Warriors' 5. And you ask any Houston fan who the greatest player in the history of their franchise is, and they all say Hakeem Olajuwon. Clark, you played against Olajuwon. Just how great a player was he? And what does he mean to this Rockets franchise today?
Boy, he was special. A first ballot Hall of Famer, brought the only titles
Well done.
in franchise history to the Rockets, and could do everything you want from a big guy. Graceful, strong, a presence defensively and on the glass, unselfish. They called him Hakeem the Dream for good reason. That dude was a dream to play with and a nightmare for opponents.
Now, here's Mbah a Moute. No problem knocking that one down.
Wow, something's brewing, guys. The three-pointers just continue to flow.
Yeah, they've had a great second half from long range, Greg. I mean, things are definitely starting to look up for them.
You suck.
And low percentage look on that one. Not sure what he was thinking.
I agree with you. Not a good shot, not good offense. They can get a much better look than that, but they're going to need to be patient to do so.
Pathetic.
How many extra possessions have they gotten because of that rebounding edge?
Well, it's been a bunch, and I think it's made the difference in the game. I mean, they've actually done a great job on the board.
Now here's Durant. Misses the one-handed jam.
And you're just not going to see him do that very often. Usually
Outstanding.
when he rises up, there's a guarantee it's going down.
And Gordon has a fast release. Got to be up on him at all times. I mean, he's excellent shooting off the dribble.
Durant for 3. Durant with another miss.
He had 6 points from long range in the first half, but nothing's fallen here since.
And here we go. Fast break. Curry's got it. It falls.
Well
Fifth
done.
goal of the night. Now shooting 5 for 8. And guys, let's get your take on the hustle stats for the Warriors.
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
But also, they put the offense on its heel. Look at the number of steals they've been able to get. And that's something they also can take great pride in.
So for the Rockets, Clint Capella, he's checked in for
Pathetic
Danae.
fool.
Anderson comes in for Mbah a Moute. And Trevor Ariza subbed in for P.J. Tucker. Now Pachulia, after Eric Gordon's three-pointer that didn't go. Ariza with the rebound.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Pachulia with the steal. The drive by Green, and Green slams it in.
And that's how you make a steal count. Turn it into a quick slam at the other end.
It was really a case, it looked like Greg Anthony right there, if I can say so. It was really a case of a great defensive play triggering some instant offense.
Yeah, I remember GA as an irritant. And this guy, much like Greg, creating havoc out there.
Now Green, James Harden missing on the 3. Nice fake, but the layup off the mark. Ariza against Durant. Gordon a screen, takes the 3.
You suck.
Tell you what, the defense has nothing to worry about out there with him shooting. I mean, he can't dial
Just
it in
too
from
much.
deep this half at all.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And the Warriors dominant last season again, not only because, Greg, of their offense, but because of their defense. One of the best in the NBA, and they're just so active on that end of the floor.
No doubt about it. And you know what? Credit their personnel, because it allows them so much more flexibility defensively. And even when they go small, they have excellent rim protection. They're a physical bunch. I just don't think they get enough credit for their rebounding, one of the better teams in our league.
And the first
Well
one is
done.
good. And Clark, we've heard the term empty stats for players that put up big numbers but didn't impact the game to the same level of those numbers. What do you think about empty stats?
I'm mixed on empty stats. Clearly, some stats impact winning more than others, but in this day of analytics, some of the stats that apparently document impact in winning may be overdone as well. Statistics are statistics. They're part of the game, and you evaluate them in the context of a number of variables. So they're here to stay. empty is probably too strong because they're part of the game.
Another miss by Houston.
The right thing there to stay that tight on him and really try to keep him out of his comfort zone. Yes, and with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who watched it, just a total mismatch and a true show of strength for the Warriors.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And it'll go down as
Well
the first
done.
official win of the new year.
And with this win now, we're all square, 1-1. 2 more games yet to come in what's proving to be a very competitive season series.
Boy, I tell you, look at these teams, Greg. They're very evenly matched. This could be one of the better in-conference battles we see this season.
And one of the key components to this victory, if not the biggest, was the incredible performance for Kevin Durant.
Every time he shot it, it seemed like it was going to drop in. And if it didn't, everyone was surprised.
Finish him.
High post try. Yep, it's good.
Impressive.
I'll tell you what, the energy in this arena,
Fatality.
you can feel it.
Big time. I mean, it's amazing. Their crowd letting them hear it. And that's always inspiring. They want to see this thing get wrapped up.
So we see the Warriors taking the game here. This game may not have been the most exciting we've ever seen, but you have to appreciate just what a clinical performance they put on.
I know their fans appreciated it, and we saw at times just stretches of excellent defense, potency from an offensive standpoint as well. They were pretty much dominant.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Clay, this is a tough part of your schedule right now. How do you get ready for the next one?
It's tough, but, you know, for me, I got fresh young legs, not playing heavy minutes, so I'm excited. And they got us to their place, but, you know, we're looking for redemption.
Young guys never mind playing again the next night. Thanks, Clay. Back to you, Kevin.
David, thank you as always. Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.